Brazil is one of my favorite countries on earth, so we're going to have lots to talk about.
We do, and there's so many different regions, and every region has different weather and different times of travel and different events like Carnival. So I'm not sure how we're going to talk about everything. Do you have a plan for us?
Yep, I got a plan for us.
Always good. So, in the meantime, also, if you scan my QR code, you can enter to win a Norwegian cruise. That is my quarterly giveaway. So please enter to win. And you can put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday on your comments across all of our platforms. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. TikTok will be coming if you guys follow me on TikTok, so please do. And then put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday, and we're going to do a drawing for a $50 off gift certificate for any Charlie the Traveler tour, any of his destinations that is booked through my agency. So please comment, even if you don't put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday. Please give us some good comments while we're going. All right, so let's get started, Charlie. The language in Brazil is Portuguese, which people may not know, but they do understand English as well, mostly.
Yeah, it's Portuguese, but Spanish, I speak Spanish. I don't speak Portuguese. But when I speak to them, they understand me and vice versa. So it's really not that tough. I just speak my Spanish. They speak their Portuguese, and we understand each other just fine.
And the currency is a little different as well.
Yeah.
Although they mostly take credit cards, they have ATMs to get local currency. But you can use your credit cards in USD almost everywhere, correct?
Yes. I mean, the main thing, almost everywhere takes credit card over there. It's surprising. Even these little, like, these food stalls, these independent food stalls. Like, I even joked, I said, well, here's my American Express. They took it over there. So everybody takes that's really surprising. But yeah, they take credit card everywhere over there.
And the safety is like being in any big city. You have to beware. It's not one of these really super safe places to be. So it's good to use caution, especially at night with taxis. You want to have more control. Maybe use your Uber. So it's not exactly one of the safest areas, I think, around the world.
There's certain parts of the country that give the rest of the country that reputation. Rio, Salvador, and Sao Paulo. Those three cities, and they do have their danger there. Once you leave those three cities, you're not going to feel anything stronger than anywhere else in the world. You feel relatively safe in most of the country. It's just those are, well, at least Sao Paulo is not as much of a tourist draw as Rio and Salvador, but Rio and Salvador are big tourist draws, and most people go to them on their first trip to Brazil. So that's how they kind of get that reputation. But once you're getting up to like the north, Porto de Galinas and Florianopolis and the Foz, Iguazu Falls and all this kind of stuff, you don't really feel the danger. Doesn't mean somebody can't hit you out of nowhere, but it's just not very common outside
And
of
of,
those two cities.
and of course, you have the Amazon, and so there's all sorts of different eco adventures you can do through the Amazon. And it's, I mean, they have predators. I mean, they have a little bit dangerous environment there around the Amazon. But of course, when you're with a tour provider, you're with a cruise company, however you decide to do it, you have that element of safety. That's one of the reasons why Charlie's tours are so popular, because you do have that hand holding around the whole country and you can see all the highlights.
Exactly. So I typically split Brazil into two: North Brazil and South Brazil. I mean, if you have the time, cover the whole thing. Most people don't, and that's how they basically just choose one of the two parts of the country. Um, I have to say this: from the 94 countries I've been to and the 30 that we operate in, the most complicated flights on earth are Brazil.
Yeah.
The whole flight system, if you could figure it out, basically Go take a test to see if you're a scientist. You'll pass the test. Um,
That's why you need me.
so all those domestic flights, and then sometimes you're right here and you want to fly here, but then you basically have to fly all the way down here and then
Mm,
take a flight all the way back up here. So I mean that's why we have the logistics down. We know exactly how to cover the highlights of Brazil smoothly, but it's not common sense at all. So you can't just look on a map
right.
and say I'm going to fly from here to there. You really
Mm,
need to know logistically how to do it. And I remember when I put the whole thing together, I had to turn off my phone and everything for
mm,
days. Not, I mean, it
mm.
literally, I had one of my secretaries, she had access to me. Nobody else did because it was so like you make the slightest mistake, the whole thing's going to blow up in your face. So she was the only one who was allowed to contact me for like 2 days because I did not want to make a mistake on it. So knowing the right order in which to visit these destinations is very important. The other one is you have to book your domestic flights in advance. I mean, at least 4 or 5 weeks in advance. I have never seen anywhere else where airfare can spike overnight as much as Brazil. So
Mm,
some that's like 160, $170. Um, the next day you go look, it's 450.
mm.
Same
Yeah,
flight. So yeah, this is one of the problems that people that show up to Brazil thinking
mm,
it's like just Europe or something, and you can just kind of like bounce around on Ryanair and
right.
take some trains, take some this, bada bing, bada boom. No, Brazil is definitely a country that you need to have planned in advance, and that's
Mm,
why my company is there. There's a reason why we're not in some of these other places in the world. New York or something. You just get on that hop on and off bus. You don't need me. Brazil is a country that you have to be well planned. You have to have it planned out before you arrive, and if you do, you can have the time of your life. It is my favorite country from the
mm.
94 I had visited, but it became my favorite country after I did my homework. The first time I went there, I got stressed out. I left. So it took a little bit of research and experience for Charlie the Traveler to return over there and have basically the best time of my life because that's what happened every time I would
Right.
return.
That's why I use a variety of suppliers in these countries. That the ones that fit Charlie's type of tour are the people who really want to see all over the country. They want to see the highlights. They want to do it in a very organized way, and get your best bang for the buck and really see everything. Charlie's great at that. I do have people who do a cruise and they just want a couple nights in Rio. There are all sorts of different possibilities in Brazil. And I'm Jewish, and there's a huge Jewish population in Sao Paulo. There's great Jewish heritage tours throughout, even though Brazil is known for harboring Nazi criminals after World War II. But they have worked very hard to combat that and to make sure that there's not that influence anymore in the country. That's why there's such a huge Jewish population now, and they work very hard at. They even have outlawed Holocaust denial. So they've gone farther than the United States in many ways. So for Jewish travelers, they do want to go there for the Jewish heritage options as well. Great synagogues, and of course you've got Christ the Redeemer also. So you have the Christian travelers as well. Very
Mhm.
diverse country.
It is. And then you have some stuff with the African traditions and roots, some
Mm.
of the practice from, that as well. And then you're going to see a little bit more of that in Salvador in the north.
And you've got Germans in the south, like a very heavy German influence, right?
Yeah, some people though they think that it's just this divide where in the South it's more like white people and in the North it's more black people. No, there's plenty of places up north. Puerto Seguro, for example, that's just a little bit south of Salvador, and it's just a bunch of white people. Um, so it's not so like as somebody would imagine, like a
Mm.
just
Racial
black
divide.
and white. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's it's mixed up because there's jobs, there's tourism, there's this, there's that. So, um, yeah, there are parts of the South that are more white, and there are parts of the North that are all black, but not so much like some people would think. They're both very beautiful parts of the country, and I couldn't pick one over the other. It's just The attractions on both sides, the north and south, are really big. Big
And
things
the
to see.
Iguazu Falls, I mean, the natural environment is just amazing.
That's right.
So, do you want to take us through? Do you want to do both tours one at a time and just kind of take us through each day and what you do?
Yeah. So I remember when, I mean, I've been more recently, but on one of my trips, I went for my 41st birthday over there. And it was the most crazy trip I ever did for myself. It really was. Because at that point, I was working 18 hours a day and I just really needed a break really badly. Um, and I just, yeah, that was probably one of the craziest trips I've done in my life. It's a good one. So when you get to Brazil, you're going to have to first ask yourself if you want to see the best wildlife in Brazil. And people are going to jump and say, yes, I do. There's a little bit of an obstacle to do it, though. It's not just this easy thing because people think it's the Amazon. No, the Amazon number one's in the north, and the Amazon is more about the trees, the water, and then depending how far deep you get in there, the people. Not so much for the animals. It's also very good for the eco lodges, very high end luxury eco lodges. If you want the crazy animals, that's the Pantanal. Pantanal. The Pantanal is somewhere that you reach through Sao Paulo, nowhere else. So the way you got to do that one, so you say, yeah, I got to see these animals. So basically, you need to fly first into Sao Paulo, which is the biggest city in the country. That night, you will sleep near to the airport. You're going to drive to a different airport. The airport you arrive in and the airport you're going to need for the following day are two different ones. So we pick you up, we take you to a hotel next to the airport that you're going to need for the following day. And then you fly to a place called Bonito. And Bonito is like the eco-tourism capital of Brazil. And it's the clearest water I've seen anywhere. It's cold water because it's river water, but it's the clearest water I've seen anywhere on this planet. And they got these crazy caves over there. And anybody that likes that kind of stuff, crystal caves and all that, that's the place to see it. Once you're in Bonito, on one of the days, we make a day trip to Pantanal. And you're taken on a boat and you'll see these animals. You're taken on a land tour and you'll see a lot of these crazy animals. But yeah, coolest animals I've seen in South America was the day trip from Bonito to Pantanal, which can really only be reached through Sao Paulo.
So, what kind of animals are we talking about that are there?
It depends, obviously, on the. Some of them are harder to see than others. You know, like jaguars, for example. You know, some of them you're going to see them less frequently than others. But like the jaguar is a big one. There's these anteaters that are over there. They've got these rodents that look like rats on steroids. You know, there's the tapirs. There's that one with the big old nose. There's the caiman. There's the caiman. There's a bunch of type of birds, obviously. You know,
I do have bird watchers who love to go down there. Yep.
That's a good place. You know, there's the anacondas over there. And they're all over. I mean, it's all over the place. So you're not going to have to look that hard to start seeing cool animals. You know, and then when you get on the boat, you see it. So yeah, if you want to do that, definitely I would do that at the very beginning of the trip. And that will mean that you need to fly into Sao Paulo.
Okay.
So there's only two places that you're going to fly into, either Rio de Janeiro or Sao Paulo. That's it. So and if you want to do the animals and you want to do that clear water, the ecotourism capital of Brazil, fly into Sao Paulo. If not, fly into Rio. So otherwise, you're going to want to really start, after you do all that stuff, you're going to want to go to the falls, the Iguazu Falls. It's the second largest falls in the world after the ones in Zimbabwe. So there's no direct flight there. You're going to have to fly through Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro. And
Mm.
often is the case, you're going to have to get your luggage because you're going to fly with like an American Airlines or Canadian Airlines or whatever, European Airlines. You're going to have to get your luggage, then take your luggage to a domestic flight to
Mhm.
get to Foz. And that's where the waterfalls are. So it's just a matter of getting your luggage, checking into another flight.
Right.
Uh, and those falls split three countries: Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay.
Mm.
So, we show it from both the Argentinian side and the Brazilian side, and they're both cool.
Mm.
Because on the Brazilian side, that's like just the most picturesque view of it, because you
Mhm.
see it from a distance. And then on the Argentinian side, that's where you have the boat, and you get really close. And so, if you get a good captain, they get, they like to put their nose right there and just like spray you with it.
Yeah,
Um,
is it like the Niagara Falls boats where you wear your plastic and you're
yeah,
really in it? Yeah.
yeah, hmm yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly right. And then there's a nice little train ride you do on the Argentinian side. And don't forget the other way to see it, and I recommend it, and this is something that we include in our tour, is the flight seeing tour over the falls.
Mm.
So you're seeing it from the boat, you're seeing it from the land, then you're seeing it from a bird's eye view above.
Mm.
So that's, also worthwhile, different perspective. And I wouldn't choose one over the other. I would do all basically.
So, do you spend any time in Argentina or Paraguay, or you just really are just staying on the Brazil side after that?
You make a day trip to the Argentinian side and then return to the Brazilian side. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's how that one is done. So yeah, on that second day, you go to the Argentinian side. It's called
Mm.
the Devil's Throat Circuit. That's what that is. So,
Mm.
and you take a train once you're inside there. They kind of show you some cool places, and then you do the boat, and then you do that helicopter.
Mm.
Um, and then the next day is when you do the Brazilian side. The nice thing is you do it really early in the morning, and you see this rainbow. It's a gorgeous rainbow. My God! So you make sure you get there nice and early in the morning.
Mm. Is the
And
rainbow always there, even without rain?
well, it's because of the waterfalls.
The
That's what's also
waterfall
important.
rainbow. Ah, okay.
Yeah, but you see it best in the morning. The brighter it gets, the
Mhm.
weaker it is. So when right in the
Ah,
morning, it is just like a really sharp, really like
hmm.
the contrast is strong.
Beautiful.
So yeah, and then before you leave that whole area, there's also this nice little park. It's called the Park de Aves, and there's like a bunch of animals that you can see inside there, monkeys and butterflies and parrots and caimans and all that. But yeah, people are going to Foz first and foremost for the waterfalls.
And I mean, Argentina is known for churrascario, steaks, and wine and rodeos. I mean, are you seeing that kind of stuff all over Brazil as well as Argentina?
Uh, a little bit. There are parts of Brazil that have that similar culture to what you're describing in Argentina.
Hmm.
Uruguay also has that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's in the very south of Brazil. You don't see it as much there, just because there's a lot of other like big attractions um, that you're taken to. In Argentina, it's more like San Antonio de Areco, like that's one of the places that you're talking about. Brazil, it's they do have that in the far south, but fewer tourists go there.
And Joanne is right. There's fabulous steaks all over Argentina.
Yeah, that is the case. Uh, so from Foz, what you then do is you take a flight to Florianopolis. Hopefully, there's a direct flight. You never know. I mean, one day they change it so much, but one way or another, we get you to Florianopolis, and this is kind of one of the places to be and be seen in Brazil. It's a very fashionable area because they have this kind of island around the city called Santa
Mm.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I need more water.
Do you
Um,
want me to give you a break and I could talk about the QR code? All right.
as opposed, well, because you realize there's no stopping me talking about Brazil. I can go on for hours with this thing.
I'll let you have a break on your throat. So while we're giving Charlie a break, go ahead and scan the QR code in the corner and enter to win the Norwegian cruise, which is our giveaway for the quarter. You can also follow me all over. All of my links are in there. So please follow my YouTube channel. We are streaming live all over. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can follow us everywhere. And please put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday into your comments, and you can win a $50 gift certificate towards any Charlie the Traveler tour that you book through my agency, Dream Vacations, Laney Melnick and Associates in the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. Okay, so I think we gave Charlie some time to get his throat moistened.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right. Okay, so we were in, where were we? Florianus, or what's it called?
No, Florianopolis.
Florianopolis. Sorry.
With a slip of the tongue, the word can change very quickly. So, yeah, it's a fashionable place to be. There's a lot of things to see. It takes a good 2 days to really cover the different places, and there's beautiful beaches over there. Some really good restaurants. Some of our customers' favorite restaurants are over there in Florianopolis, and some nice places to see just the landscape of the waters, the clear waters, and all this kind of stuff. So, and then it's got all these like resort bars too. They got all these very fun resort bars. So it's not just the beach, the beauty of the beach. You've got these fashionable resort bars and stuff, and just music and people. So that kind of thing that you're thinking of Brazil, with people that are just with nice music and beach bars and some dancing on the beach and all that kind of stuff. Florianopolis.
So it's not beach weather all the time. So when would be the best place or the best time of year to hit the beaches?
Well, the best time to go to the south of Brazil generally is November through April. And it will change obviously a little bit just because the country is so long.
Right.
But December through March is like the most popular time to go to Florianopolis. Some people like to go in the winter, which is May through August, because there's an opportunity to go surfing. But I would say November through April, or if you want to narrow it in a little bit more, like the peak season months, December through March for Florianopolis.
Okay, and would that work for Rio beaches as well?
Rio's good year round, but yeah, November through April are the best months.
And I would caution people who want to go for Carnival that you need to book well in advance. If you're going to do a Carnival vacation, it's just like Mardi Gras. It's just like any festival anywhere in the world. You have to plan in advance to make sure you get good accommodations and your air.
That's right. That's right. And I've done that. We'll talk about that in a minute too, because
Okay.
that might be a show unto itself, to be honest with you. But, and then after you've left Florianopolis, you're going to fly to Belo Horizonte, and this is a different state now of Brazil. This was like the whole colonial, like one of the most colonial areas of Brazil. The whole country's colonial, but this one was a big one because that's where they had all the diamonds. So there's a lot of extraction of diamonds and all this kind of stuff. So the Portuguese were dropping money and building infrastructure, building towns, all this kind of stuff. So Mariana is one of the towns, cute little towns over there. The best one, though, the big attraction is Ouro Preto. That one you feel like you're in Spain. Sorry, you're in Portugal. I mean, it's just straight up like Portuguese to the max, with the cobblestone streets and just the whole thing. You're going to feel like you're in Europe over there.
Beautiful. Of course, that makes me think that accessibility is going to be an issue. And that would be probably for around the falls as well. When you go to a different country, you're used to the United States ADA rules. It's totally different in other countries. So how would you say people with mobility issues can handle this kind of a trip?
I mean, you're going to be better off on the boat rides and that kind of thing. Some of it's going to be hard. I mean, the Foz Iguazu. I mean, there's the catwalk. So
Mm,
and it's a little bit wet, a little bit bumpy, that kind of thing. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's still because you got wood parts and you're going to feel that vibration. Um, and then when you get onto the boat, you have to go down all those stairs. There's no other way. There's
uh,
just the stairs to get there.
hmm,
Um, so there are certain limitations for it. So it could be done. It's just certain things we have to eliminate, like for example, taking the stairs down to take that boat ride to
mm,
see the falls. But other things are easier. Getting on the helicopter to see it from above is okay.
mm,
Doing Florianopolis, because that one's easy because you got a private vehicle. You know,
mm,
um, so it's going to be um, a day by day sort of thing where we'd have to make some adjustments
mm.
to accommodate your needs. But of course,
Okay.
some things here and there would just not be able to access for them.
And of course, one of the things I love about doing Charlie's tours is that you can customize. It's very easy to either remove a day or add a day. You can leave any day of the week or the day of the year that you want to leave. It's not a set tour that must leave on these dates, which, like if you go with Globus, Trafalgar, any of these other tour providers, if you're doing a group tour, that's the way they do it. But Charlie's are customized. So my clients can choose the day they want to leave, how many days of the tour they want to do, if they want to upgrade their rooms to suites, if they want to be in five-star hotels only. All of that can be customized for you. Okay,
That's right.
sorry.
So we have recommended durations,
Hmm.
and people who have more time, we can kind of add to it. Maybe because they just want to hang out by the beach a little bit and take breaks here and there. So we have like a tour to the south of Brazil, and that one is 12 days.
Mm,
I'm sorry, 11 days. And then the North Brazil tour is 13 days, you know. So sometimes people just want a day here and there to relax by the beach. Sometimes people want to see a little bit more of the country. So they'll do like the South Brazil and add just a little bit of the North.
hmm.
We do it based on how much time people have.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so take us back to where we were in your tour.
Um, Ouro Preto, it's cobblestone. So that one for people who have disabilities,
Right,
that's going to be harder because it's going up and down the hill there.
right.
Um, but after Ouro Preto, you return to Belo Horizonte, and now you're flying to Rio. You know, um, some of the best nightlife anywhere I've seen in the world is Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
It's like nothing on this planet. There's some places, Thailand, I've seen some places come close, Greece, but Brazil, just something about it that is just it's a big deal, and the attractions in Brazil are really a big thing. We give you an overview in one day, but I mean you need a good 6 days to cover it all. Most people don't have that time, so we just kind of give you an overview in one day, unless people ask for more, and then we give them more. And that one day we take you to the Redeemer statue, the one of Jesus.
Hmm.
Take you to the National Theater and some other of the major highlights over there. But yeah,
I,
it's a cool city.
I've had clients who requested the opera. They've requested seeing certain nightlife cultural events, and of course we can fit in whatever interesting sideline you want to do.
Now, there's also important day trips to make from Rio de Janeiro. The city
Mm,
itself is a destination in its own right, but there's also a couple really important day trips. So one of them, it's called Costa Verde, or in English, the Green Coast.
mm,
And it'll go to this place called Ilha Grande, and it looks just like that. It's a green coast, really
mm.
smooth waters. The only problem there is it often rains, so hopefully you're visiting in a time where it's not raining. Even November through April, it rains over there.
Mm.
Um, but the water is really nice when it's not raining. And it's a perfect day just to go on the boat and snorkeling and all of this. So
Mm.
the other one is to Buzios. It's a resort called Buzios.
Mhm.
This one's a little bit crazy. It is a very packed day. It's the only day that we make it this packed so much. You start at 6 o'clock in the morning and you get back at 10
Mm.
o'clock at night.
Wow.
It's a packed one. So when people say, no, 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 we don't want that, what we do then is just extend the duration, and we'll add a night in Buzios and then return you to Rio the following day. A lot of people don't
Mm.
want that though, because you have to check out of your hotel in Rio, put your
Right.
stuff in the car, get to Buzios, check in, next day, check out,
Mm.
So people
Right.
just say, you know what, I'll do it. Just I'll wake up early.
Mm.
And that day we really pack it. We've shown you the best resort towns. You're taking on a boat ride to some of the coolest beaches in the south of Brazil.
Mm.
Uh, and these are hotspots. These are places that people are hanging out with music and the whole thing. So that day we pack it a lot. And Buzios itself, it's kind of what Mykonos is to Greece. That's their
Mm.
that's their thing over there.
Yeah,
So
I've actually had clients who only wanted to go to Buzios, just go straight there, just do the beaches. I know. I get everybody.
well, all right, all right, you can do that too. Um, so yeah, for people who just want to hang out and relax and that sort of thing, that's a place where we would say, hey, you have more than 11 days for South Brazil. We can add a day or two just for you to be around, all the music and vibe and all this kind of stuff. I understand if you want to stay in Buzios for a couple of nights to just hang out. So it makes sense, but a lot of people, they're kind of tight on time.
Mhm.
And that's where we try to really show them the highlights, not miss anything, and do it within their time constraints.
So, are there, as a diver, I am always asking, is it good diving down there? I don't think I've heard about good diving in Brazil. Do you know?
Not as much, but there's a place called Fernando de Noronha
Mm.
that is off the coast of Recife. That's in the middle of the country. It's not so much for diving, but you'll see like dolphins and
Oh.
other types of animals over there.
Mm.
Um, so that's a very expensive place, though, by the way. Um, just to throw that out there.
That's okay.
But
My clients love that.
yeah, yeah. My don't. But yeah, so it's Fernando de Noronha. You're going to see a bunch of cool animals in the water over there. But otherwise, the better snorkeling, it's in the south. It's near that
Mm.
Costa Verde, one of the 2-day trips from Rio de Janeiro.
So, were those the only 2-day trips you usually do?
From Rio, yeah. And if
Okay,
people
so
want,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and if people want more, if they
Mm.
have more time, and they're in Rio, we say, hey, we can show you more of Rio because there's really a lot to show you in Rio. So that one
Mm.
day, we're giving you an overview of the city, but there's a lot.
So that was the North tour, correct?
No, that was the south.
Oh, that was the South. Oh, the whole thing was the South tour with the Iguazu
Only
Falls?
that's only the south. The north
Oh,
north is a different.
okay. I thought we were talking about the North. All right, let's talk North then.
Yeah. So from after doing that 11-day tour, on the 11th day,
Mm.
or on a separate trip, either way, you're going to fly to Salvador, and you can't get to Salvador directly. You're going to have to
Ah,
go from Rio or Sao Paulo. So
okay.
if you've done the South tour with us, then you just take it from Rio. If you're not doing the South tour with us, then you're going to just fly from Sao Paulo or Rio to get to Salvador. Um, when you look for flights, you can ask me or you ask Lainey. Don't try looking at it for yourself. You're going to make yourself crazy because a lot of times people just go to Google Flights and they'll put like, Minnesota to like Salvador or something. They're like, what? You're going to have to put a flight to Rio or Sao Paulo. And then separately, you're going to have to look for a flight from one of those 2 cities to Salvador. So that's something that our company does. So people don't have to think about it. That's
Mhm.
something that you do as well. It's
Yeah,
not common sense to get to Salvador.
no, no. This is why you go to a travel agency who specializes in air or understands international air. I do this every day, so that's why you come to me or to come to Charlie for that kind of help.
Salvador was the largest port where Africans were taken to.
Mm.
Salvador, that was the big one over there. Um, So I mean, you feel the heritage very strongly in the even the attire,
Mm.
even in the food, because those African dishes, they like the stews. In the South,
Right.
it's less. The South, it's more that, the churrasco, more of the
Hmm.
cut meats and the things on the spits and all that. So in the
Yeah.
North, you're still going to get that in the North, but you're getting now more of the stews and all the spices and all this kind of stuff. That
Mm.
came from Africa.
Mm.
Um, so you're going to have a lot of good food over there. And that's where they do like the capoeira, the martial arts dances
Uh,
where they have this martial arts and they kind of turned into a dance. Um, so you're going to see that over there. Most likely you'll see that over there. People are practicing in the parks and on the streets and
mm.
stuff. So yeah, so it's a colonial city. You're going to see like Portuguese architecture over there. It's people predominantly of African descent.
Mm.
Um, and the music's good. The whole thing's good. It's also another spot for the carnival. So Rio, Salvador, and one other place called Olinda. Those
Mm.
are the three spots for checking out the carnival. But even if you're there not for carnival times, you can have a good time in Salvador.
Mm. So, how many days do you spend there?
So the first day you arrive in
Mm.
Salvador, right? We give you a little tour depending on what time you arrive. The second day is when you make a boat day trip from Salvador to Morro de San Paulo. Um, that place, it's interesting. There's not a lot of big attractions, and when you get there, you don't care because the place is just got a vibe to it. It's one of
Mm.
those places. There's some others that I can mention too, but there's some places that if you just look on a photo, you just say, okay, I don't. Okay, why am I going there? And then you go there, you're like, oh wow. So it's just there's no cars and all that. So everybody's there. It's all foot traffic.
Uh,
Everybody's just in a good mood. Everybody wants to talk to each other. Drinks, music, hangout spots. It's just all your problems are gone until you come back home, and then they all come back. Um,
that's the way it always is.
back to reality.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that's basically a good day trip to make.
Mm.
Or of course, if you got the extra time, instead of making that day trip, you can sleep in Morro de San Paulo and check out the nightlife and all this kind of stuff, rather than just
Mm.
doing that day trip from boat from Salvador. That's just going to depend on how much time you have, because already the North Brazil tour, it's 13 days, so,
Right.
when we start stretching it, who has 14, 15, 16 days kind of thing.
Right.
The only thing we let people know about that day trip is the water's a little bit choppy. So um,
Mm.
there's a fast way to get there, but if you have like seasickness, we tell people not to do it. There's a
Mm.
longer way to do it that requires more transfers, but you won't vomit. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in pretty bad waters. Actually, probably it was off of Argentina. So it's where the convergence of the seas are, the Drake Passage. I don't know, going over to Antarctica. It is not for the weak-hearted. It's not for everybody. So if you do have motion sickness, there are pills you can take. There's the bracelet, the patch, prescriptions. So there are options, but I actually never get seasick. I don't think I've ever been seasick ever. Yeah.
We're both lucky in that regard. I mean, I've had my
Yeah.
health problems. You've had yours,
Yeah.
but seasickness is just something um, I never really had to deal with that
Mm.
one. But yeah, so from Salvador, then you basically check out the city itself, and then after that, um, you
Mm.
basically take a flight to Recife, from
Mm.
Salvador to Recife. And again, if somebody does a tour, however they're doing it, you and I, we provide all the exact flights, so they don't have to figure out the flights that they're going to need. We
Right.
do all that stuff internally, but they would be flying on that third day
Mm.
from Salvador to Recife. We pick you up at the airport and we take you straight down to Porto de Galinas. And if I ever had the opportunity to move to Brazil, that's where I would move to, Porto de Galinhas. Um, that place is just cool. It's a I guess it's a resort, but it's a long stretch. It's
Mm.
a long stretch with a bunch of cool things to see in that whole area. Beautiful water, and the tides go very low, so you can see coral like right in your face. It's really,
Mm.
the contrast is really pretty. And then they've got these special boats that you go out on, that you stand on. These
Oh,
little, yeah. And then basically you could see the coral just right there because the
ah,
tides are very low. And then there's times where if you go at the right hour, you're going to see the beach split.
mm,
So you're going to see the two sides of the beach, and then you're literally walking between water type of thing.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I thought you would, Lainey. I
Totally
was
has me
thinking,
written all over it.
I thought you'd think that would suck, but thanks for clarifying.
Just think of the movie I could make from that. Great movie.
um, so that one is a really good place to go. You're going to see these like multicolored sandbars.
Mm.
Um, and there's another place that they put the church right on the beach.
Ah.
Like, it's just right on the beach. It's kind of like, wow, of all places to put, it's like on the sand type of thing. And it's the other place that's very popular for snorkeling, because we had talked about places for that.
Right.
That area right there is good. So very south, Costa Verde. The other one near Porto de Galinas, which is more of the center of the country.
Mm. All right. So
That's
where do
what
we go from there?
um, um, we've moved there. We're not going anywhere.
Oh.
But yeah,
All
the
right.
natural pools there, because they got that low
Mm.
tide. The natural pools really are something um,
Mm.
cool to see. But you're not leaving just yet, because you still want to do that sailing to those natural pools,
Uh,
right? When the tides are low, typically you do that in the morning. And the other
mm.
one is the buggy riding.
Oh, dune buggies?
Yeah, you take the dune
Ah.
buggy and you go on this beautiful scenic drive.
Mm.
Um, I loved it. Oh God, I loved it. Um,
Mm.
and it's fun, and you're seeing such beautiful landscape when you're going down this whole area over here.
Mm.
So, and just know that Porto de Galinas, it was voted the best Brazilian beach
Mm.
by Voyage and Tourism magazine. So, um,
Wow.
it's a good one.
And you don't hear this from other people. So when you're looking for a Brazilian tour, a lot of the tour companies just stick to the big cities. They stick to highlights that people know about. I mean, that's one of the things I love about Charlie's tours is he really gets in deep. He understands all the really cool places in the entire country, and he makes sure that we can get there. And we, of course, help with all the logistics to make sure it happens. And it's not so easy for you to do by yourself. So please, really don't try to do it by yourself. It's the value of using Charlie and my help is that we get it done for you in a way that is extremely affordable. Did you want to talk about the prices? I know we're getting close. We have 15 minutes left.
Um, well, yeah, guys. So I am the guinea pig. I am the experiment. So I
Mm.
mean, I've been there 5 times already, and I've made the mistakes and all that kind of stuff. So I go back
Mm.
and do more research and development and get this thing down right. Um, I'll just kind of I'll try to wrap this up
Okay.
with the itinerary. But
Mm.
from Porto de Galinas, before you leave out of Recife again, we take you to a place called Olinda, and it's another colonial town. It's
Mm.
very popular for carnival. The thing that I like over there is there's these guys with guitars, and they'll just see like a man and woman next to each other, and they start singing them these songs, like, and they just take these random words like, your hair is beautiful and blonde, and they make it rhyme. So your hair is blue, but your man is not appreciating you like he should. He'll just they make the whole thing, and they just sit there and they'll like make this whole song around you and whoever you bring with you. So um, it's pretty romantic, to be honest. So
Mm.
just don't go there solo. You'll feel depressed.
Oh.
um, So after you've left now Recife, you're flying to Fortaleza. We pick you up from there and we take you via 4 hour drive to a place called Jericoacoara. That is one of my favorite spots in all of
Mm,
Brazil. It's a village. It's all foot, no cars. Um, and just it's another one of those places where everybody kind of just knows each other real quickly. Music, tight, dancing, the whole thing. It's a good vibe. And on
mm,
this one, there's a lot of important stuff to see because the following morning you do this buggy tour,
mm.
and you see a bunch of cool beaches and beach clubs and all this. So what's crazy is you have these natural formations of lagoons and beaches and whatever, and then they make these beach bars. Uh, they incorporate it into it.
Ah,
So it's like God with some fashionable lounge, and then you've got these hammocks with a bunch of good-looking
mm.
people, you know, and it's
Sounds like
just like,
Greece.
yeah, it's just is life getting any better than this? Um, life getting better than that? And then you return to Jericoacoara in the evening, and you do you watch the sunset from this big dune. You walk to the top of the dune. Let
Mm.
me just turn the light real quickly.
Okay. I'll do a quick break while he's doing that. So if you scan the QR code, you can enter to win our quarterly contest for a Norwegian cruise for two, and put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday on your comments on any of the platforms that we are streaming on. We're streaming all over the place. And then you can win a $50 gift certificate towards any Charlie the Traveler tour that is booked through my agency, Lainey Melnick and Associates Dream Vacations, out of the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. Okay, go.
So I think today may be the only time I've overwhelmed you, Lainey.
I know.
Um,
It's like we're almost out of time and we're never going late, almost out of time. But let's finish up your tour.
yeah, this is kind of a big one here. Um, so from Jericoacoara, one day you kind of do all that. The next day you leave Jericoacoara and you go to a place called Parnaíba, but there's several crazy stops you do along the way.
Mm,
And you need a 4x4 with this. You can't just go with a regular
mm.
car. So this is when you're going dune bashing. This is when you're sledding down the sand
Oh,
dunes.
fun.
Um, this is when you go to this place. It almost, yeah, there's this one place, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of like Burning Man. They have a place over there where just this crazy artwork and people are hanging upside down and they're just taking these like Instagram style photos and trying to make themselves famous or whatever. Um, but there's just an insane amount of gorgeous stops you're
Mm.
making when leaving Jericoacoara and getting to your final destination that night called Parnaíba. So beaches, lagoons, um, hanging people, just yeah, dune bashing, all of that. So it's a good one.
That's awesome.
And then once you get into Parnaíba, you go on a very scenic boat cruise along a delta.
Mm.
Really, really, really pretty. And I'm sorry, I know we got it, but I remember there was this
You're
guy,
doing
and I was
good.
just sitting there, and there was this guy, and he was just seeing me because other people were dancing, and this guy was like dancing, and I'm just kind of sitting there.
Definitely.
And he looks at me and says, hey, gringo, come over here, hey, he's like, Viola, gringo, come on. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay. So I dance, and he's like, no. And then he like goes and he kind of like puts me real tight with this like girl, and then he's like, no, let me show you. And then he goes and he kind of shows me how to dance and all, you know. But those people, the Brazilians, they know how to have fun more than almost anybody I know. I think the only ones I think that I would say Brazilians, Argentinians, Greeks, and Italians, and surprisingly Thai people. Those five can party harder than anybody.
And Americans, come on.
Um, well, we after a while stop. They don't like they there's just like a 24-hour thing. At some point our bodies give up. They just keep on going. But anyways,
It's
so that
genetic.
kind of stuff, and just once you get into that part of Brazil, the landscape's very different because now this is when you're in all these like sand dunes and lagoons.
Mm.
The landscape's very different over there.
Oh,
So that for me is Yeah, don't worry. That's one of the prettiest parts of the country for me. That's when you're now getting into Lençóis Maranhenses National Park. You take a
Mm,
flight seeing tour over it, and there's like these oases. So these
mm,
pits of sand dunes with water inside. And when you see it from
mm.
above, it's one of the prettiest things you could ever see from an airplane. It's one of the
Wow.
prettiest things that you could ever see. And
How
then
many
along
days
with
do we
that,
have
we do it.
left?
No, well, anyway, just go to Brazil. That's the point. Um,
Well, wait, what day were you on out of the tour?
I'll just wrap it up and say this. Along with those oases, you see it by 4x4. We also show it to you by boat. After that, we take you into Manaus, which is the gateway to the
Mm,
Amazon. Once you get to
right.
the Amazon, there's a couple of different eco lodges that we use. One is simple, it's good, and it'll show you those stuff. The other one's very lavish. It's a bit expensive. I stayed
Mm,
at that one. It's one of the best eco lodges. No, it is the best eco lodge I've ever seen anywhere on the planet.
mm,
Um, Gourmet food, gourmet everything. I mean, they'll even wash your clothes and everything over there.
mm,
And you'll see, yeah, you'll meet some cool people over there, very, very catered and luxury oriented. And then from there, from Manaus, you're going to fly back to the south, either Rio de Janeiro or Sao Paulo, and then you basically leave and you go home.